Hello and welcome to Minecraft Levitated. So, looks like the pack has given us a Santa hat, which is kind of neat. By the time this video comes out, it'll be well past Christmas, but we have been busy. So off camera, we did get this guy up to a Void or Miner Tier 5. The quest only needed us to get to a Tier 4. And if we look at the uses of a Tier 4, we get all the things to get to a Tier 5. We get all of the ores up to Emerald. And if we look at a Tier 5, this also only goes up to Emerald ore. There's no different ores gained between the Tier 4, Tier 5, and the Tier 6. The only thing that is different is we get these Aethium crystals at a 6.07% with the crystal laser lens on a Void Ore Miner 5. And I do believe that we have a higher chance of getting the crystals. No, we do not. It is the same with a Void Ore Miner Tier 6. So the only reason that I upgraded this thing to a Tier 5 version of it is because I wanted to get the Aethium crystals in case we wanted to upgrade our solar panel to a Tier 6. Things are coming in pretty fast. I did add these luck modifiers. These luck modifiers make it to where we get more ores. So you see we got 2 copper, 7 lapis instead of 1 at a time. We also get more crystals and things like that. This thing does use 2,000 RF per tick, but that's not a big deal. I did have a bunch of speed modifiers in this thing before, and it was using 30,000 RF per tick. Over here, I did get the Void Resource Miner Tier 2. I'm not going to upgrade this thing. I only put the Resource Miner up so that we could get the mica. This stuff right here so that we could make the different modifiers. But looking through all of these different controllers here, there is no difference in the stuff you get. I think these will run a little bit faster, like the Tier 5 runs faster than the Tier 2, obviously, so you could get more stuff, but that's not really anything I'm concerned about. Now back home, we did also upgrade our solar panel to a Tier 5 with the Tier 5 solar cells, and this thing regenerates 475,000 RF per tick. I think our power situation is pretty well under control. Going back through the base, it is a little bit laggy. We just loaded in the pack, so we need to give it a little bit of time to load in. But going back to the base, we've got all the crystals here. I'm going to let these things run for quite a bit. We are getting tungsten here. You see we're at 492. We're getting iridium. We're getting titanium. These are all of the things that we... all of the different ores that we are getting. This is the same as this. We need to fix this. But as far as the resource miner goes, we are getting diorite, granite, and andesite. We're getting sandstone and red sand and sponge. We are getting podzol, mossy stone, mycelium. That's just some of the ones that we've put over here. I also did put in a storage drawer for brownstone, terracotta, the mica, marble, packed ice, ice. I do believe we're getting soul sand from this. What else? I do believe that we are getting clay. We put the clay up here into a compacting drawer, so we have clay coming in. We're getting glowstone. Yeah, we're getting all the things, and we did organize this guy out a little bit better. I did start putting some void upgrades. You can see there's a void upgrade in the bones here. A lot of these now have upgrades and void upgrades in them just so that we're not overflowing the system with a ton of stuff. That pretty much takes care of everything that we've done off camera. Now, something I did a couple of episodes ago was I made this set of armor here. This stuff is called the Ender armor, and the recipe for this stuff is End Steel with this Guardian diode. End Steel is an alloy of Endstone, Dark Steel, and Obsidian. Dark Steel is an alloy of iron. pulverized coal, and obsidian. This stuff is quite expensive to make, but this armor is the best armor in the pack that I know of, and then these Guardian Diodes are in the Slice and Splice with the energetic alloy, some prismarine, and a basic capacitor. I made this stuff. It runs... It's basically dark steel armor, which we don't have in the pack, but we do have the dark... I'm sorry, wrong thing. Dark steel. We do have the dark steel upgrades for the dark steel armor. So that is what makes this armor so good, is we can add things to it, like Empowered, and that will make our armor take damage via RF instead of the durability of the armor, and we can go all the way up to Empowered level 5. There's some night vision here, and then some speed. I sifted through all of these guys right here to see what I wanted. I think these are what we want, so I had to make a bunch of these blank dark steel upgrades, which are made with dark steel iron bars, clay, and string. And I made 24 of these, I believe, so I can get all of the different upgrades. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and craft up... these don't stack. We'll craft up 4 of these, and you can see we made exactly 4 crystals. I made exactly 4 basic capacitors, double layer, octatic, and then 4 of these tormented Enderman heads in the Slice and Splice. I made a potion of night vision, and then all of these require potion of swiftness. I did make all of that. We do have to make these gears, though, because I don't believe I have those. Another thing that I did off camera is, if we look up matter, is I did run a bunch of iterations to gain some extraterrestrial matter, because this stuff is going to require us utilizing the anvil here, I do believe. So if we put the Ender Helmet in here, let's see. 4 levels need to activate this upgrade by right-clicking. No, it's not done in the anvil, is it? No upgradable dark steel armor. Do we put the helmet on then? Ah, so we can choose it like this. Activate by right-clicking. It won't let me activate it. Give me a second. Okay, I figured it out. It was simple. I was holding shift right here when I right-clicked it. You just right-click it. That activates it. Now we're out of levels, so we will eat some terrestrial matter. Boom, we've got the stuff. Now we can shift right-click. We can put the Empowered in here. We can put the Empowered in here, and we can put the Empowered in here. So now we're at level 1 Empowered, and our armor has no power in it, and this stuff looks a little bit less intrusive than our Terrasteel armor. It's still kind of weird with my skin, but what we need to do now is we need to go over to our gargantuan storage tank, which is underneath here, because we have the capabilities of making wireless stuff. So, wireless charging, armor slots, apply. And if this worked, it doesn't look like it is. Let's try. Oh. Enable wireless. Bam. So now. It's not working. Is it because we didn't do this? Apply. Nope. Very interesting. Armor slots. It's quite interesting that it says enable wireless charging. We have all the stuff. But it won't do it. Alright, well, we'll figure it out. Okay, so the first thing I had to do was make this Flux Controller. This allows for the wireless charging, so now all of our armor is completely charged up with Empowered 5, and 95% of the damage we take will be absorbed by power. It says it right there underneath Empowered 5. I did go ahead and put the night vision on my helmet, though we may not need it, and then I have speed on my pants, which doesn't give me any faster speed when flying, but it does give me faster speed for running around the base, which is pretty cool. I don't know, we might change it out. We might. I don't know. Without the leggings on, this is as fast as we run. It's not very good, but with this, we can kind of zip around the base. Another thing that I did off camera was I went ahead and finished out the last couple of quests in the beginning. We made the Gormarillis and we made this Orchid Indium. They were a little bit of grinded process, making some runes and stuff like that. Not a big deal, but we finished this entire page out. I did go back and I think I had these 2 obelisks left and maybe the vortex tube here. I can't remember. But we finished out these pages as a completion, and I really wanted the experience obelisk because we were looking at potentially making a bunch of experience for our armor. And the other thing that we made was this Aversion Obelisk, which is a pretty neat little thing. You apply power, you give this thing a capacitor, and then with soul vials you can pick the entities that you don't want to spawn in a certain area. And if we go to show range, the range on this thing is huge, so no Endermen are going to be spawning anywhere near my base, which makes it really, really nice to work around here. And I'm not loving the speed on these leggings. We may have to change that before too long. Now, having speed and being able to run a little bit quicker around my base is going to be nice, but we've been doing a bunch of crafting and stuff like that, and we have to run over here, or we have to run over here, or we have to run over here, or down below. So I think what I want to do today is I want to definitely get some wireless crafting to where we don't have to worry about it. One last thing that I did off camera was I did make a couple of stacks of refined steel, and then I also made this book from Tech Reborn, which is refined steel in a book. But when you right click this book, it wants to send you to a website that we may check out because I don't really know what we're doing with this mod pack, and that is where we're going to get into here soon, is going to be working with these bigger machines on our way to the Quantum Quarry. But before that, we're going to want to craft up a few things. I'm not sure. I think I do want this wireless connector. Maybe not. This is from AE2. I know we're going to need this security terminal, we need the crafting terminal, and then we need the access point. I think that's all we're going to need. So to craft this guy up, we're going to need a Flux Pearl. And then we should be able to make this wireless receiver. Then we should be able to make this wireless access point, which this we just have to put on a ME cable. We'll have to figure out how we want to do that, but let's go ahead and make this guy. I think I have everything, but Emmy... Geez, I don't have anything. Well, we can make some of that, and we're going to need to make the ME chest, which I have not made before. Requires a terminal. And again, this is just a bunch of crafting chains. So let me do a little bit of this so you guys don't have to watch, and we'll be back. After a bunch of crafting later, I have this guy. The security terminal, if we take our wireless terminal and we were to click on it, it's going to say device not linked. So we have to put it in here to link it up. Now it is linked with our storage system. And wireless out of range. That's right. We have to put this guy. Now, this thing by default is 16 blocks, and it uses 8 AE per tick. And now we should be able to look into our system with everything that we have. So that's great. But we want to take this thing and be able to use it for crafting. So we are going to need to make this guy right here, which I should have everything I need. I lied. Let's craft up one more of these Flux pearls. Now we should have everything that we need, including the terminal here. Bam. And this thing is powered up because I have my right hand set to power. And we'll put that guy in there. Now it is linked up. And we can craft. Now we can go anywhere in the base. Well, that's 16 blocks away from that bottom side, and we can do some crafting. Lately, I've spent a lot of time in our processing room here, and have to run all the way back to a terminal to do any kind of crafting. So the next thing that I'm going to want to do is make these guys right here. They're called booster cards. That's this guy, the wireless booster. It's just me. I need some ender dust, which we have to grind down. Some ender pearls, no big deal. We should have a ton of those. If we go to sort by number of items, there we go. Bunch of pearls. We can place stuff in here, and I do believe that if we go into options, controls, and we look up open wireless crafting terminal, open interface terminal, open pattern terminal. These are set to none. I do want to set that to Z. What else is set to Z? Key Z. So move vehicle up, toggle all waypoints. We're just going to reset this guy to... How do I... How do I set this guy to something else? I want this to be none. But if I do this, it's going to be backspace. Subtract and multiply. Sure. Good enough. So now I should be able to just hit Z. Perfect. And we also should be able to put this in our bobble slot and hit Z to open it up. Nice. All right, now we need to work on the boosters so that we can get more than 16 blocks away from this wireless access point. So I made 32 of these booster cards, and as we put them in, we go up a block, but we go up a little bit of AE power. So if we were to put in all 32 of these, we can go 197 blocks away from this central point, but it's going to use 189 AE per tick. That's not a big deal because we are generating an absolute ton of RF. So we can cover this guy back up, and now we have the wireless capabilities, and we no longer have to worry about being away from the base, and we can do some crafting. As long as we're in the end and we're 197 blocks, I mean, I can come, if we run, I can be all the way over here and still get into my wireless crafting. So that is something that needed to be done a lot earlier on when we were starting to mess with AE2. Of course, power would have been an issue, but with this big solar panel, it is not. So our next goal is to start down this line of getting into Tech Reborn, and it does want us to make a basic machine frame, which is this guy right here. It's just 8 refined steel ingots. We will go ahead and make that so we complete the quest, and then we roll into a new thing. We can make these overclocker upgrades, and then it has the electrolyzer, the implosion compressor, the blast furnace, and a recycler. And then a matter fabricator. We definitely want to get into that. The blast furnace, I do believe, is a multi-block structure, and we will have to look at more of that in a moment. And then a fusion control computer, and then the quantum quarry. I really want to get to this because it has a ore that it will get that we can't get anywhere else. This mana infused ore. Let's see, uses. It doesn't really say, but the only way to get this is through the quantum quarry. So that's where we're trying to work towards. Now, a lot of these machines that it wants us to make use these advanced electronic circuits, which we can make in the assembler, but it is quite a bit cheaper to make it in this assembling machine. So to make this assembly machine, we'll use that basic machine frame that we have. I've got some refined steel plates going, and I need to go ahead and make 4 of these circuits inside of our assembler with the solder. This doesn't require anything but RF, so it's going to be the better way to go. So first things first, we're going to make this assembly machine, so I need to make 4 of these, which will be 8 redstone and then 4 of this insulated copper, and we need to stop using that. So if we look up the assembly machine, which I have right here, it's going to require these guys right here, so we need 4 crafts of this. We're going to need 8 redstone and 4 refined ingots, and we can come around here to this guy, which I do believe has a little bit of solder left into it. Throw those in there, throw that in there, and throw that in there, and it will start making this. I do believe this requires 1,000 millibuckets at a time, so we are going to need to make a little bit more solder. So with all of that done, here is our assembly machine, and this thing, like I said, can be used to make these electronic circuits. It requires 3 of these copper cables, and then in the same assembly machine, we just need refined steel and electrum. These we're going to make a plate bending machine so that we can make plates a lot easier. This guy again is going to require 2 compressors, 2 of these electronic circuits. So yeah, we're going to have to get going with some stuff. I do need to make some electrum plates, which I'm not sure if I have electrum or not. I have 1, but that's okay because of our void ore miner, we now have a ton of silver and we have a ton of gold, so we can actually go ahead and make a bunch of electrum inside of our sag mill here. This should go really quickly. Yes, perfect. And what I think I'm going to do is inside this room, we're going to start making these machines. So I think we're going to have the assembly machine right here. And we are going to need to get power, which luckily for us, we should have right here. So we can take the power in right here. And this way, we could put the facades here with this chiseled stone and have all of the power running into the bottom. That might actually look not too bad. So we'll need to get some of our cable out. Let me get a little bit more dug out, because over here we're just going to hide it. So we're going to come through at this level, and then we're just going to come up right here and go across. So let's get our energy cable, which we have a decent amount of. And we're just going to go something like that above our heads here. Then we'll bring it down across like that. And that should work out pretty good for us. We'll go ahead and place the floor back in, and then we're going to need to take all of these chiseled stone and make cable facades. There's 18 of them, so we need to make 18 facade. What is it called? Let's look up conduit binder. We have a little bit right here. Conduit facade. It is called a conduit facade, so I am going to need 18 of these, which I don't think that we're going to have enough. We're going to have enough for 9, so let's make some more conduit binder. This stuff right here. And we'll go ahead and get that smelted up, and then we will start making this place look just a little bit better. So even though this is an easier way to make these, it is extremely slow, which is where these overclocker upgrades would come into play. Let's see, overclock. These are made with the electronic circuits and then 10K coolant. This isn't bad. We could make a bunch of these. So this will hold 4 of them, and we make. With the 10K coolant, we're going to make 1 at a time, so we're going to want to make 4 electronic circuits in this thing, and then craft this up with some coolant cells, and get this thing overclocked. So we're going to want to make ourselves 2 more refined plates and 4 more electrum. So let's do that. We'll let those guys go ahead and go for now. These guys should be done here shortly. And then we can actually make the components with the insulated copper cable. So let's just go ahead and make... Oh, we're not in this. Like a stack. Perfect. All right. Let me get some things crafted up. Okay, so I've done some stuff. So we've got the overclocker upgrades in the assembly machine. This thing is very, very quickly. Or very quickly? It's very quick. We have the plate bending machine. This makes certain ingots into plates. Fairly quickly, we can make some overclocker upgrades for all of these. The compressor does some other specialty plates that the plate bending machine does not. So if we look at this guy here, it does like the advanced alloy, it does diamond, emerald, it does all of these from Tech Reborn, it does the ender dust, redstone, stuff like that. Whereas the plate bender is your traditional plate maker, well, I guess it does do the advanced alloy, but it does like refined steel, gold, things like that. So I went ahead and just used both of these machines. I've also got this rolling machine because for the industrial blast furnace, this guy right here, we needed these cupronical heating coils, and this is nickel and copper in a rolling machine, so we got that guy going. I did also make the industrial blast furnace because refined steel is a lot cheaper in this thing. It is just iron and then this calcium carbonate cell, which we can also make in the industrial blast furnace with distilled water and slag. This distilled water is what we needed the distillery for that we made in the last episode. But if we click into this guy, you can see the incomplete multi-block. So if we toggle the multi-block hologram, we need these blocks. And this is like a 3x4 square with the hollow in the middle. And that is these guys right here, the reinforced machine casing blocks, I believe. They look similar. You can use, let's see, machine casing. These guys right here, the standard machine casing, we can use these guys as well. The reinforced will allow us to get a better heat temperature. These guys use a lot of refined steel. These use a bunch for this and for these electronic circuits, but it uses steel plates instead. So I did the math. We need 9 here and 9 here, which is 18. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lots of 2, which is another 16. So that's 34 of these. Let me find my way out of there. Yeah, there we go. So we need 34 of those, which means we're going to need 9 lots of this craft, which means I need 9 of these, which is 9 of these, 9 times 8 being, what is that? 9 times 8 being 5, 6, 72. I need 72 of these ingots, which means I don't have enough. I have 39 refined ingots left. So we are going to need to make some more of this in the arc furnace once again. Luckily, I have all of this stuff that we need. And we are getting some slag, which I also believe we have behind this guy too. Somewhere we have slag. As far as our quests go, we still need to make the implosion compressor and the electrolyzer, which I have right here. The electrolyzer is going to require it's going to require 2 extractors. Oh my goodness. And the implosion compressor requires another compressor. Yeah, we need to get a bunch more refined steel ingots done. And then we'll place these machines up along here, making this place look pretty nice. Eventually, I think we're going to get more into AE2. There is a thing called is it called an interface? Yeah, Emmy Interface. This will allow us to talk to the machines when it's hooked up to the cable to the system over there. And we can start auto-crafting things. There's also a thing called a molecular assembler, which is this guy right here. This allows us to craft up regular items, like if we wanted to craft our logs into planks, we could do that by setting up a molecular assembler. And I think we're going to be getting into some of that at a later date. But yeah, let me get some more refined steel. I want to try to get this guy up and running. The episode might run a little bit long, but, it is what it is. I just need to find my slag. Later, we have been doing some things. First thing I did was get this distiller hooked up with some water. So we have an infinite water source coming into this distiller, which is turning it into distilled water. That is being pumped around to this gargantuan drum here, which is being pumped up to this fluid transposer, and then I made a stack of these empty cells here, which aren't too hard to craft. It's just some tin and a glass pane. And these are being pumped full of distilled water so that we can use them over here in our blast furnace. Now, I did also find my slag, which we'll go ahead and get back here. I have it here at the improved blast furnace. There is 700 slag here. I did take a bunch out and put it in my system, and now we got to get out of here, which is a little bit of a pain. There we go. And replace our glass. Like so. So we do have the reinforced machine casing, so this thing is getting 1700 heat. Everything is working. So if we throw the distilled water and the slag in, this will start making the calcium carbonate cells that we need. And then to make the refined steel, we need this calcium carbonate steel, and then we need iron ore. So I have added this drawer here, and I have removed the iron ore from this filter here so that we can pump the iron ore straight up, and we can make some more refined steel. And then in doing so, I've made the electric furnace, which allows me to smelt things faster. We did make the recycler here. We'll talk about this momentarily. We're actually going to move this electrolyzer probably over to this alloy furnace spot, because this alloy furnace is not very good. Our Ender IO alloy furnace is better. And see, some of these do that. Oh, you break them with a pickaxe, and they turn into an advanced machine frame. I lost the implosion compressor too and had to recraft that, so I'm going to have to recraft the electrolyzer to put it down here, but it's no big deal. So anyway, once all of this is done, we can take these calcium carbonate cells, take ourselves a stack of iron ore, and it turns it into refined steel very, very fast. We take this out. We get the empty cells back, which we can run back over to our machine over there. And then we can dump this into the system, giving us more and more refined steel. As a matter of fact, I need to put this guy back on me. And I made this wrench, and this did not help either, so I don't know why. There we go. So now we have the empty cells, and we probably will need to make more of these. So we have our rolling machine, we talked about that, our compressor. We've been kind of all over the place. We've been trying to get these advancements done to get to the quantum quarry, but I think we're about out of time for today. Now the recycler, we can throw any item in here. I just took a stack of cobblestone to make sure that this was working, and it will turn the cobblestone into scrap. Now this scrap we can run through a matter fabricator, and then we can get this UU matter right here. And this stuff can be used to make all kinds of stuff. Stone, snow, oak wood, grass, obsidian, glass. Let's see, vine, sugarcane, clay, gunpowder, ink sacs, bones, feathers, coal. We can make iron ore out of it. We can make coal. Gold ore, this might not be a bad one to keep in mind. We can make emeralds and diamonds. We can make tungsten, iridium, copper, aluminum, lead, tin, and finally titanium. So it would be nice to have a little bit of UU matter going, but this thing is ridiculous to make. The extractors are easy to make. These highly advanced machine frames is where things get a bit tricky. We need to set down our implosion compressor to make these iridium alloy plates. But this implosion compressor requires a similar multi-block structure like this one, but when we place the machine down, we'll use this block as reference. The multi-block structure is below it instead of behind it, so I think we're actually going to need to set up another wall maybe of machines and see if I can't place this guy in and see if I can't have it's sitting on the front part of the machine frames. But the biggest or the hardest thing for these guys is going to be these chrome plates because they require chrome ingots, and we need to make chrome dust and run it through the industrial blast furnace. This is made in the industrial electrolyzer with ruby dust and 3 of these empty cells. The ruby dust we can get it from redstone, or we can grind down our ruby into ruby dust. So we can do it in the crusher, we can do it in our pulverizer. I do not have the grinder from Tech Reborn, so like I said, we may set up another machine wall over here. I don't know. We have been doing a lot of different stuff today, and I am worn out from this project. So the episode has drug on long enough. I think we're going to wait until the next episode to come back and start building the rest of these, and my goodness, my eyes look ridiculous in that helmet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode today. We are making the final pushes towards the end of this pack. Getting into advanced rocketry will be fun. This last quest right here is going to take us some time to get to, so it's going to be fun. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, if you did, please make sure to leave that like. Check the description down below for all of the different ways to follow me. Hit the notification bell while you're down there. and I will see you guys on the next one.